Alrighty, well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show this week. Thanks for being here and joining, coming along live on a Monday afternoon. Hello everybody, I'm David Burrows, your host today, part of the Video Show Network, and got a full show for you, a full hour. And if you've been watching in the past, you'll know that I'm excited about doing the show live now. There's some advantages to that. We can talk to more people in an hour than we can in, say, 10 minutes recorded. And we can reach more people. And you can watch it after, even if you can't watch it live. So there's lots of great reasons to be doing this live. And I'm grateful to have you joining me here every week. Do me a favor, whatever you're doing, if you're watching live, just type live in the comments below here on Facebook. We're going live in about 5 different places. So your comments, your reactions, your questions are important to us here during the show. We're looking for your engagement with our 3 guests that we're going to have on here. And the best place to do that, the only place you can do that where we see your comments, is if you come over to the show Sarnia page and watch from there. That way, if you comment somewhere else, we won't see those comments. So, hello everybody, and welcome to the show once again this week. And you know, like, there's lots of I know some people said, well, which one's the Video Show Network? Which one's the show? So the Video Show Network is like the parent of several shows that are hosted. Mine hosted, Positive Power with Michelle Dion, and some others that are going to be added. So I would ask that you take some time when you have it to visit us on all the social medias at TVSN World. And that's where you'll keep updated on some things that are going to be happening here, not just in the Sarnia community, but from different places around the world. We're going to be adding some more shows to the Video Show Network very soon. Very excited for that as well. Okay, I just got to make sure. See, I'm multitasking. That's the trick here with live video. An event I've been talking about the past few weeks, but I want to make sure you're aware of it. Sarnia Sings is volume number 2 of Sarnia Sings, coming to the Imperial Theatre on May the 3rd, and once again in support of mental health and suicide prevention. And that's again happening at the Imperial Theatre. Tickets already available for that. imperialtheatre.net is how you can go online and get your tickets. They're only $25 a piece, and about 20 singers all lined up. They each get to sing a song and then sit down and enjoy the show, and a fantastic band backing them all up. And we're going to have some other fun surprises in there as well. And again, that's supporting mental health and suicide prevention initiatives here in Sarnia, Lambton. And my friend Adam Dumont, who is the driving force behind getting that started, he invited me last year to be the MC. I'm excited to say I will be the MC again this year. And hopefully we're going to have him up maybe on next week's show to talk more about Sarnia Sings. Speaking of Sarnia Sings, it kind of rhymes. Sarnia Stings got stung yesterday when they played Game 6 to the Kitchener Rangers. Final score there of 6-2, unfortunately. It was exciting, though. I have to say it was exciting for the Sting fans and myself and Jay Peckham, who are at every home game doing our live pregame comments, and Jay with his fan perspective. I was very grateful to have Jay Peckham join me again for most of the broadcasts there. And I want to say special thanks to my son Jason, who did a lot of the production. It was a 1 or twice a week he was allowed to tell me what to do and get away with it. So Sarnia Stings, we're certainly happy for getting to the second round of playoffs this year. It was a fantastic year. They took it to Game 6. Of course, the Sting fans were hoping to go back down to Kitchener and have a Game 7, but it just didn't quite work out that way. So thank you again, Sarnia Sting, for having the Video Show Network and myself there, and thanks for a fantastic, awesome hockey season. All right, well, if you're a part of the chamber, here's a reminder that you might want to get down to the Business After 5 that is happening this Wednesday night coming up. So it's the Business After 5, so just around 5 o'clock is when it starts, hence the name. And it's going to be at Brownstones this time, so you can get down to Brownstones. I enjoy getting down to Brownstones. They take really good care of me when we're in there. They got fantastic staff, and of course Jay Peckham and I were in there this past Sunday for the Kitchener away game. And Brownstones going to be fantastic hosts. Again, if you're a chamber member, it's free to go. If you're a non-chamber member, It's only $10 to go. Great opportunity to get out and network with others in the community. And if you're not a member of the chamber, you might want to consider doing that. And if you want to go, you come be my guest. How about that? We'll give you another initiative to get down there. So again, Business After 5 happening at Brownstones on Wednesday, just after 5. All right. Cleanup Day. Talked about this for a while, but it's been sneaking up, and I hope the weather is really good, because like Mother Nature's been some really funny things going on with Mother Nature, right? If you look out the window today and yesterday, but it is springtime, believe it or not, and April 21st is cleanup day for the city of Sarnia, and they're looking for you and your team if you want to get some friends, family, neighbors, whatever, or pick somebody up off the street and tell them to come and give you a hand, whatever. It's cleanup day, and there's information for that on the Sarnia website. Just go to their website at sarnia.ca, or go to the Facebook page, the official City of Sarnia Facebook page. There's a video there. Rachel Vayu from the City of Sarnia talks about Cleanup Day that's happening again this Saturday, April 21st, and how you can get registered. There's a link there and all that sort of stuff as well. So thanks, Rachel, for sharing that. Cleanup Day, April 21st, this Saturday. Also, flea market. See, this is a perfect sign to know that spring is sort of upon us anyway. There's a flea market happening at the Strangway Center also this Saturday, April 21st. Starts early in the morning around 8:30, and there'll be lots of vendors there with spring stuff, and it's just an opportunity to get out. Now, I know when we say Strangway Center, we tend to think of an age group that's much older than most of us, but there's actually a lot going on at the Strangway Center. Music lessons and arts and just all kinds of different things that are happening from ages 21 and up. Yeah, right. I'm not even kidding. That's what I thought too. So you can get down to the Strangway Center for their spring flea market, and there's always lots of staff around there as well that if you got any questions about what's going on, they've got lots of great events going on throughout the year. They join us here on the show on a regular basis as well. And for you music fans, did you know that it's Record Store Day also on Saturday? Did you know there was such a thing as called Record Store Day? Yes, Record Store Day happens in many of the independent, I'm falling apart here, our independent record store, which is Cheeky Monkey, of course, downtown Sarnia, and they're having their special Record Store Day, as they have many across all of Canada, and it's always April 21st, or this Saturday, I should say, of the month. And I know Roland and Marianne down at Cheeky Monkey will have lots of fantastic deals going on, and Mike Blackmore is going to be down there playing some music, and it's just going to be a great musical day. Starts early in the morning. People get lined up for this down at Cheeky Monkey, so if you want to get in on some great deals and enjoy some fantastic music, get down there nice and early again and say hello to our friends at Cheeky Monkey, Marianne and Roland. Thanks for all that you do, by the way, in the music world here, the local music scene here in Sarnia. The Blue Water Chordsmen, Let It Be Harmony. Or Let Harmony Shine, I should say, is the theme that they're going to be having coming up on April the 29th. That's a Sunday, also at the Imperial Theater. And again, I've asked to be the MC for that, so I'm looking forward to the Blue Water Chordsmen. And also, they're going to have a special guest. The Lambton Youth Choir is going to be joining them as well, and that's going to be a full show for sure. And I've already been part of some of the rehearsals and stuff, so that's it's going to be really exciting. So Blue Water Chordsmen, April 29th. Go to imperialtheater.net, get your tickets for that as well. Wow, so much going on in Sarnia Lambton. It still kind of annoys me. I don't mind saying when I hear people say there's nothing to do around here. Been making a show of it for 7 years, so there must be lots going on. So don't be shy. If you've got an event that's going on in Sarnia Lambton, you want me to talk about it here, or maybe you'd like to be part of the show, I'd be happy to have you reach out to me and tell me your story and what's happening. And if you just send me a message, David Burrows on Facebook. I'm not hard to find. I'm a bit of a social media tramp, so you should be able to find me somewhere. I'd love to hear your story and share your story. And if you're not in Sarnia Lambton and you've got a good, positive community story, part of the reason that I want to do the live stream and a full hour of a show is I want to use the opportunity to connect our community with other communities so that we can learn from each other in the communities. What a great idea. Why don't we all connect and get along and share ideas and collaborate together to learn from each other and help our communities grow. All right, so I invite you to do that. Wow, where am I now? There we are. I think I'm ready. Yes, my next guest is coming up here in just a moment. And I have to tell you, he's a busy guy. And if you're from Sarnia, you might have heard some of his music with another group, Silverstone Satellite. He's a member of that group. And he's not given that up, but he has decided to put himself together an acoustic performance act as well. And we've been trying to connect with him for a few weeks, but he's here in the lobby. Give me the thumbs up there, Mike, if you're ready. Yeah, he says, okay, I'm good to go. So we're going to bring our guest in right now. Here is Mike Mann. How you doing today, Mike?
Hey, I'm good, Dave. How are you doing?
I cannot hear you.
Uh-oh. Looks like I'm having trouble with the audio. Sorry.
Can't hear you. Nope, can't hear you.
No. Sorry, Dave.
You stand by. Maybe.
I have no idea.
Mike? Hello, Mike? Hello? Say hello. We're going to keep trying. Mike, are you there? Hello? Mike, are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yep.
Oh, now there we go. We're fixed.
Oh, perfect.
There you go. I have yet to do a show that actually worked perfect live, so it's okay. But I've learned that the refresh button is my friend. Well, thanks so much.
Funny thing.
Yes, it is. Well, thanks so much for joining me. I know we've been trying to connect. We've sort of missed each other and connected and then missed, and now we're here. We finally made it happen.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, certainly lots to talk about with you as far as your music goes. I mean, let's kind of go back to the beginning, even before Silverstone Satellite, and just how you kind of got going in the music world.
Well, that was, I guess, back in high school. A bunch of guys that I was in classes with. I didn't play any instruments, so I got elected to sing. We started up a band called Graven Image way back when, and wrote a bunch of originals, played a few shows around that, and it kind of got me hooked.
Right, and that was, you say way back when. How long ago was way back when, actually?
That would have been between probably 97, 99, somewhere in there.
Okay, all right. And now I know Silverstone, I've actually only seen Silverstone live once.
Oh, really? Which show?
I think it was Powerboat Festival one year. Didn't you guys play that?
Yeah, we played with I Mother Earth.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
That had to be an exciting an event, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that was a great time. Those guys have been kind of heroes of ours for years. So, there's not a lot of real big Canadian bands around from our generation. So it was really cool opening up for those guys.
And did you get a chance to meet them or talk with them at all?
Yeah, we did a bit backstage. Our trailers were right next door to each other, so just kind of briefly in passing, but they were pretty busy guys that day. There was a lot of media stuff to do, and they were kind of carted all over everything. So
yeah. So now, Silverstone Satellite. Like, I know we're going to talk about your acoustic, but this is kind of a lead into how long has Silverstone Satellite been together?
We've been together now for, I think, going on 4 years. We started out as just a 4-piece. We're still a 4-piece. We lost a member, a drummer, just about 2 years ago now. Replaced him with our current drummer, Trevor Gorski. He's working
Right.
out great. And he's taken the band in some newer directions. We've become a little bit heavier and just a little different than we were. So it's exciting.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Now, I have to ask the question. Like I had Harold Collins, who's a local musician, on a couple of weeks ago, and talking about the music scene in Sarnia, Lambton. Is it getting harder to find places to play?
For a band like Silverstone, yeah, it can be. A lot
Yeah.
of the venues that are left are kind of pub type venues, and
Right.
they're kind of geared more towards an acoustic sound or some of the more trendy acts, I suppose, that are around. So
Right.
a
So
rock,
do you guys travel?
being family men and mostly shift workers, we don't travel a whole lot, but we do have intentions on getting out. We've had some offers in London and Toronto and things like that. Just tricky
Nice.
nailing down a date, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's not your full-time thing. Like you say, all the members.
No,
This is more a passion than a living, right?
exactly. That's why we can kind of get away with just playing what we want instead of doing the cover thing or something like that.
Right. Right. You don't have to impress anybody other than yourself, I
No,
guess, right?
exactly.
Now, this has led you. You talk about the local pubs wanting more acoustic. I guess that's here's a picture of you jamming it out there. Is that kind of what led you to want to start an acoustic performance? Is to be able to play more
Um,
local?
Yeah, and just to keep playing, keep singing, and keep out there, I guess. Acoustic music's always been kind of a passion of mine. I started playing an acoustic guitar a little bit, maybe around 14 years old.
Okay.
Just recent years, I've started developing kind of a style of my own, I guess, and writing a lot more and things like that. So I finally got a collection of songs I feel like I want to take into the studio and
Okay.
maybe get out and start playing and supporting that kind of effort. So,
Right. Do you have a studio of your own, or do you have or are you talking about going into like one of the local studios, or where would you do that?
Silverstone's original drummer, Kevin Williams, he's got a great recording studio that he's built. I've been talking to him. He's currently producing That Dirty Racket's new album,
Oh
which he's
yeah.
a member of now. He plays drums for them now. So they're finishing up on that, hopefully summertime. And then he'll have some time to get me in. And I'm hoping to track probably at least 4 or 5 songs for an EP.
Okay. So what when you say you're writing, what do you write about, and what kind of do you have like a popular topic or a popular kind of style? What's it about?
Um, a little bit of everything, to be honest. A lot of the first EP that I'm going to record is a collection of songs that are basically poems set to music, and there's no choruses to any of them. So
Oh,
I've decided to call the EP No Refrain, and just release something surrounding that. I do have a lot of other stuff that does have choruses, some kind of country-ish stuff, or a lot of different things. As far as like lyrical content is concerned, um, there's one song that will hopefully be on the EP called Tears. It was a song that I wrote just based on a picture that I saw of a little kid crying, and it turned into a whole story around that. A few of the other ones have been personal experiences or things like that, but it's a lot of observational stuff. People that I meet might inspire a story, or overhearing something that somebody else has gone through, or something somebody
okay.
else is dealing with, or something like that. I'm a
So
bit of a people watcher.
yeah, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I was going to say you sound like someone who observes a lot in a room, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's funny
yeah.
what
So
you can
watch
learn from
watch out.
watching. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll behave when I'm out. Well, that's that. So you don't really have one particular thing you like to write about. It's kind of whatever comes in front of your way, or whatever you're noticing at that moment. It's not one particular. Like some artists, they talk about love, or they talk about whatever. Right? You're kind of all
Yeah,
eclectic, I guess would be a good word for you.
yeah. You definitely won't get a lot of love songs out of me.
Yeah. No air supply from you, eh?
No, not really.
Well, that's great. So do you have? Well, let's go through. You sent me quite a few pictures here.
Sure.
Talk about this. Here's a picture here. What's that about? Where was that?
Uh, Actually, I'm not even seeing the picture, Dave. I can only see you.
Oh, you're not. Oh, okay. I thought. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You used to be able to. All right. That's funny. It's there's you and another fellow. Looks like playing a keyboard.
Um. Is it a kind of a grainy shot
Yeah, I guess so.
on a patio someplace?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I think that was actually at Norm's, and I sent you that one because that was the day that I decided to quit being a chicken and actually get up and do some acoustic stuff
Oh, that
locally.
was that was one of your first ones.
Yeah, so that was geez, probably 7, 8 years ago now, maybe something like that. And
Oh, wow.
once I kind of got that first one under my belt, I was a little less nervous, I guess.
There you go. Well, and here's one. There's a whole group of you here. It looks a little.
Is
Geez,
it an outdoor thing?
no, it's an indoor. You're on a stage there.
Probably a Silverstone show, likely at the station or something, maybe,
Oh, okay, no,
or it
it's
could have
not the
been.
station. But
Uh,
I know there's. Go ahead.
Oh no, no. Some of the ones I sent you were from the Powerboat Festival, and there's a couple old shots from a previous band I was in called Distract the Masses a few years ago.
Oh, distract the masses. Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a minute ago.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and here's a
Yeah,
picture. There's you and another young fella playing acoustic guitar together, sitting down.
right. So that was just this past Saturday. We were invited out to participate in a benefit for a orphanage in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and I'm there quite often. My wife and I travel there 3, 4 times a year. I have a lot of friends there, so I thought, what the heck, we'll go out and play. That was TJ and I, TJ Arts.
Oh yeah.
He's one of my acoustic partners in this project, so he came out. He was available that night. My other partner, Pat Rice, will be doing a lot of the percussion and some backing vocals, guitars, things like that. He plays with Quiet Mind locally, but unfortunately they had a gig in London on Saturday, so he couldn't make it. But yeah, that was out at the Wyoming Legion, so it was a
Oh,
fun
okay.
show. Yeah.
And there's yeah, I'm seeing a picture now of you guys on stage at the station music hall. Boy, I think there's a lot of people going to miss the station music hall.
Oh, I think so. I think so. Stu did a great job of bringing some really great acts through there the last few years, and it seemed like it was really starting to revitalize that place, kind of the way it was back in the '90s, I guess, when you had bands like 10 Seconds Over Tokyo around and things like that.
Yeah, wow, there's a name I haven't heard in a while. Yeah,
Yeah, I grew up with those guys, so
I remember seeing Atlanta Miles there, and of course, I saw Kim Mitchell there, and I saw Honeymoon Suite there back in the day, and yeah, there was Streets was always a popular one there too.
yeah, it was a pretty cool venue for a long time. I mean, it's definitely going to be missed.
Do you think? And there's you in a studio singing into a big microphone. Where's that?
That would have been at Kevin's place when we were tracking the Silverstone satellite EP.
Oh, okay, all
I
right. And let's see what else we got here. There's I'm not sure where that is. It's dark. Yeah, there's some more station stuff, and all right. Well, you've certainly been doing lots of performing, and that's fantastic. So, do you have you got some gigs lined up here in town, or what's happening there?
Yeah, I got right now. I have two booked, June 3rd and June 17th at Republic in Sarnia,
Okay.
and past that, I'm still open to taking bookings. Like I said before, I'm a shift worker, so sometimes it's a little tough picking out days. But um, luckily, the Republic gigs are like 4 in the afternoon to 7 at night, so they're good and early. I'm home at night, so
Yeah. And is
nice.
that what were those dates again?
June 3rd and June 17th.
Oh, okay, all right. And is one of those a first Friday?
I believe they're both Sundays.
Oh, okay. And that's third and seventh. Sorry, I'm just writing it down so I don't forget there. And that's at Republic. So Sunday afternoons, they're having regular stuff down there. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess a lot of the bookings are being done by Nightlife Entertainment based out of London. So
Okay, perfect. So moving forward, I mean, is this what kind of are you? So you'll play a lot of your own original music, and then do you throw some covers in there too, or
uh,
what's your sets like?
Sarnia, I hate to say it, but Sarnia is kind of a conservative city. So the cover stuff, it kind of flies a lot better than the originals for the most part. So it'll
Yeah.
be mostly cover songs with a few originals peppered in throughout. So
Okay. So, and do you have a do you have like a what kind of covers would you be throwing in there?
um, everything and anything. If I like it, I'll play it. I do. Geez, so many songs. Older stuff like the band and Leonard Skinner and things like that. I can do some newer stuff like Ed Sheeran and even some Katy Perry, believe it or
Oh
not.
wow. So that's
So
pretty good though, because I think a lot of musicians tend to have a set that they know how to play, and like they don't really take requests because it's like, oh no, I haven't learned that one. I mean, it's not like being a DJ where you can just play the music and
yeah,
or download it or whatever, right? You kind of so you've got quite a library of songs going on in your head then.
yeah, quite a few. And it's funny. A lot of the really popular stuff kind of revolves around the same chords and same changes and that kind of stuff. So once five, six, 10 songs, you can play a lot of stuff if you really think about it. So
Yeah,
it's kind of handy, you know.
yeah.
But
Fan-
yeah, I just have a tendency of just picking whatever. We do have set lists structured, but I mean, if somebody pops up and says, "Hey, can you play the Beatles or something?" Something that we don't have on a set list. I mean, I'm sure we could pull off something pretty quick.
you can wing it.
Yeah.
All right,
We're all
watch.
big music fans, so it's easy.
Yeah, you just kind of jam it out, and well, I don't really play it. I tingled the little ivories when I was younger, but I don't really. My voice is my tool, I guess. So, so I
Mine
appreciate a
too.
great musician and being able to put that all together and make it work. And honestly, doing an acoustic act, I think it's probably one of the tougher things to do because it's just you, right?
Yeah, it's nerve
You
wracking.
don't have anybody else to rely on, and hopefully the audience likes you.
Exactly.
That's great. Well, Mike, I want to thank you so much for spending time here and talking about your music. And I know you're a super busy guy, so I appreciate you finding a way to be here today.
Thanks a lot for having me on, Dave.
You're welcome. Keep me posted about everything, and make
I
sure
will
you
do.
send me messages about where you're playing and the band's playing. We'll make sure we let everybody know about that.
Absolutely.
All right. Cheers. Thanks, Mike.
Cheers. We'll talk again.
All right, Mike Mann, the local musician. Yeah, he's been playing for a while, and he's having a lot of fun doing it as well. And pardon me. See, here's I gotta my throat's dry. All right, I got another guest coming up, but I got to take a quick break and just a pause for a moment, and then I will be back to continue on with the show here once again. So please do stand by. I'll be back in just a moment. All right, well, welcome back. Sorry for the pause there. I just technical issues, right? I got to try to figure some stuff out. So I had my next guest ready to come on, but seem to be having trouble finding my guest. So I'll just try to move forward without it, and maybe he'll find his way in here. I don't know. That's the thing about life. Got to keep going, right? So Steps for Life is walking for families of workplace tragedy, and they are having their annual Steps for Life coming up Canatare Park, Canatare Park, and it's part of the Threads of Life organization, an association for workplace tragedy and family support. And again, as I mentioned, their annual Steps for Life coming up. And here's my guest. This was to be here, Mark Roehler. I hope he's okay. Hasn't made it here quite yet. And there's many different families that are affected by tragedies in the workplace. Accidents often happen, but they're can be very, very tragic and can affect families financially and mentally, and add some stress into the whole circle of life. So this event coming up is an important one. There's some of the families that have been involved and affected by tragedies in the workplace. And Mark Roehler, the chairman, is a great promoter and advocate for the workplace tragedy. And there's just a list of some of the, you see there's the Kiwanis, not the Kiwanis Center, but the Kiwanis building at Canatare Park where they gather, and there's some photos of some of the folks that have been affected by workplace tragedy. And it can be very devastating to families when something like this happens, whether they're really tragically physically injured, or often even the loss of life happening in the workplace because of a tragedy in the workplace. So the Steps for Life annual event is an important one for sure. There's some of the supporters of the Sarnia Steps for Life here. I see Unifor and the Carpenters Union, and I know they have a lot of many unions locally and beyond. This is something that's all over Ontario as well, and an important one as well to have, again, as tragedies certainly can have a hard effect on families when things usually unexpectedly happen, right? So special mention too as well, Mark Roehler also works at Leader Environmental, and Leader is one of the sponsoring the Steps for Life for the community. They're the community advocate sponsor for Steps for Life. So great for Leader Environmental to do that. I really wish Mark was able to be here. So I spoke to him earlier, and I knew he was going to plan on being here. So hopefully he'll pop in there. But again, there's some more of the folks who have been affected by tragedy in the workplace, and some loss of life as well. So there is an award that Mark Roehler has earned, the 2070 Community Action Award, given to him by the Threads of Life organization. So congratulations to Mark on that as well. All right. Well, as we're waiting for my next guest to arrive, and hopefully Mark Roehler is able to find his way in, just want to talk a little bit more about what's going on in the community. There's different events always going on, and if you want to be a part of the show and talk to me here, you're welcome to do that. Send me an email to david@tvsn.ca, and you can reach out to me also here on Facebook and tell me about your organization and your story, and we'll have you here on the show to talk about it and spread the word in our communities. And if you're not in Sarnia Lambton and you want to join me here as well, I would welcome you to do that and here as well. I do my show every Monday from 3:30 to 4:30. And if you're watching, please take a moment and say something in the comments below so that we know you're watching. I'm going to take another quick short break and wait for my next guest to arrive, and we'll be here shortly to talk to you more right here on the show. Stand by.
Hello, Myles speaking.
Oh, hey, Myles, it's David.
Hi, David.
Are you about ready to come on?
Yes, I just a little quick meeting. I'll be on my way up the stairs in just a second.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Bye. All right, back once again here on the show. Sorry for the pause and breaks. Still trying to figure some of this technical stuff out, but we just keep moving along, right? My next guest is going to be joining me shortly. The end of the Good Shepherd is what we're going to be talking about. And, I know we talk probably a lot about the end of the Good Shepherd and the need for food and different things. And I wish we didn't have to talk about it all the time. I wish we could just not have to talk about needing food and supporting things like that in our community. But it is a problem, and with different you might be surprised just who's affected by needing the services of the End of the Good Shepherd. You might think of somebody that you might consider to be doing well, or things might seem like they're really great, but you might be surprised at just who needs the services of the End of the Good Shepherd. And the End of the Good Shepherd not only supplies and has a need for supplying food, but there's something like 34 different programs that the End of the Good Shepherd offers out in the community. And again, you might be surprised who needs these services, because I think there's a label and a stigma on some of this stuff. Executive Director Myles Vanni has joined us here in the lobby. We're going to bring him on board right now. I was just hello, Myles.
Good afternoon, David.
Yeah, I know I was harassing you on the phone telling you to hurry up, but I know you're a busy guy.
Oh, it's great. Glad to be with you. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I know this is a new experience for you doing the interviews this way, right?
Yeah, high tech.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you can be anywhere in the world now. You have no excuse for not showing up. We were talking about, I was just before you come on there, I was talking about, of course, the services of the End of the Good Shepherd and the things that they offer. And of course, the original thing that I think probably comes to mind for people is food. And which is certainly a big one. And you've taught me well, because I can be the advocate and say that we need 40,000 pounds of food every month. And what that means is the size of an empty 20 by 40 swimming pool.
Absolutely. You wander around. You got to go to the mall, check out our CANStruction, wander around, look at all those 13 structures. And there's the rollerblade. And that will amount to, we're figuring, about 30,000 pounds. So think about all that. It's about a 3-week supply sitting in the mall right now for us.
Yeah, I think it's really, I guess so many people probably take advantage of the fact, like 30,000 pounds of food, and you need 40 every single month.
Yes.
How do you keep that up? I mean, that's...
Well... and that's a really good question, because a lot of people say, well, does it really matter then if I, on my way out of the grocery store, I drop a couple things in the barrel or put a bag out for, cyclone aid when it happens? Does it really matter? Is that going to have an impact? But the fact is, it's a huge impact, because it's everybody doing that little bit. That means we can raise that 40,000 pounds of food. It's kind of like that analogy, a waterfall. It's, a drop at a time. All of a sudden, you have Niagara Falls. It's everybody a little bit. That's how we can help our community. Yeah,
and I guess it's again, there's the food. Obviously, is the big part of what the Good Shepherd does, and the CANStruction is a huge event. And I know when I was there the other day, thanks for asking me, but at the same time, I'm like, wow, I don't know, that's the second or third time I've done it. What a challenge to go through and judge these creative designs, these engineered designs. And we've got some young people involved, and we've got some people in the industry helping the young people. Talk about the community involvement with that.
Well, it really is a huge effort within the community doing all these teams. We had businesses, we have some industry, we have some schools, service clubs. they spend a fair amount of time preparing and designing and getting very intricate about, the size of cans, the color of cans, just to get the design right, and then raising all that food that will eventually come back to the food bank. But one of the neat things CANStruction happens around the world, about over 200 other communities.
Yeah.
One of the things that sets ours aside is that we have a juniors category. We really encourage young people. We've had soccer teams, we've had theater groups, we have schools. The Rotary Interact group participated this year. And it's a really neat experience for those kids because we connect their team with an engineer. So it becomes a really interesting learning experience for the kids as they learn about math and drafting and design and that, and problem solving and organizing and coordinating, things like that. So lots of different skills for those kids to earn. And one of the really neat things is that they have a lot of fun doing it. And they realize, you can help people and have fun doing it at the same time. And what a great example it is to help lead them on that lifelong path of caring.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. It's great for you to share that because I think, some people just, they'll walk by and they'll appreciate it and they'll go, wow, that's kind of cool. And then maybe they kind of keep walking into the next one. But to know the behind the scenes stories of how, and I guess, to be a part of something great as well. You say this is done all over the world. But Sarnia's got some bragging rights about CANStruction, I think.
We do. We hit way above our weight class when it comes to CANStruction. Little old Sarnia, 100,000 people in Sarnia Lambton, and we can compete against these other 200 communities building. And we traditionally, for the 7 years we've been doing this, are ranked in the top 25 of all the builds in the amount of food raised and the amount of money raised. And, when you think we can beat out cities like Toronto or London or Boston or Manila, it's a tremendous response from our community, but a tremendous credit for the community that we can significantly raise that amongst, many, many much bigger cities.
Yeah. Well, I noticed, too, Matt Hutchison, who is, he's on the board for CANStruction, or what was his role?
Matt's our committee chair for it.
Committee chair, right. Sorry. And Matt's, I know he's very passionate about the project as well. So much that he made a point of bringing up a per capita rating that Sarnia is.
Yes, because we're such a small community but we're still raising, 30, 40,000 pounds of food per capita. We always rank the top because, Toronto may raise 80,000 or 40,000 pounds of food, but with that many people, it's per capita, it's much smaller. So yeah, again, we hit way above our class level.
Yeah, well, I think you and I could both agree, you're involved in a lot of different things as well in the community that when Sarnia decides to come together, they really are a passionate and giving community, and we're very fortunate in Sarnia Lambton to have that.
And what's really neat is that this year's theme was Canadian inventions, which I think opened a lot of people's eyes to the things that Canadians have invented. And you'll see there's the Bush plane there, which was a Canadian invention and opened the Canadian North. The roller skates, the gramophone, all those are great Canadian inventions. So the teams are quite creative in building those, quite creative in the Canadian design and creative in their building. But also, I think it showed how strong Canadian caring is by the response for this.
And I know one of them was it the telephone here, or who was it that had the most cans? Do you remember?
Well, the Carpenters Union built a replica of the Avro Arrow and had 5,885 cans in that structure.
I think I have. Oh, there it is, right there.
Carpenters Local 1256.
Over 5,000. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And
solid right through to the core.
Yeah. Well, and again, like I say, walking around as a judge, and there's the space shuttle, with the arm, the robot arm.
Yeah.
And what else?
One is the gramophone, a Canadian.
Where is that? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Well, you press the little button, and it will turn the turntable on and cause it to spin and play some Canadian songs. They have, I think, 80 songs.
Yeah, that's right. 80 different Canadian songs. You got to go through, hit it 80 times. That might the store in front of there might hear the same music over and over for a while. But you're right. There's a telephone. This one here was interesting because they were the winners, weren't they? This
was well, there were a number of different categories teams could win for, but this was the best use of theme category. Right. It was entered by SNC Lavalin, and it won because it had actually 2 Canadian inventions in it. Superman, you can see the logo on the screen, is the Canadian comic character, but also it's an IMAX theater, which was IMAX theaters were a Canadian invention. So they won the best use of theme because they had 2 Canadian inventions.
Yeah, that's fantastic. This was really interesting too. This was it's hard to see there. Maybe I can put it full screen, but this was actually a basketball net. You can throw. They had the balls down there. You can throw. That was really creative too.
And a nice interactive, lots of kids around there. And basketball is a Canadian invention.
Yeah. I was really surprised about like the roller skate was a Canadian invention. The IMAX, really, I had no idea. Now, you guys gave them a list of different inventions that were Canadian. And there was it a long list, I would imagine? Or
it was. Well, we always do a fall kickoff for the CANStruction event, and the teams come in for a rally, and we did a trivia game on Canadian inventions, and then they got a list of literally hundreds of different Canadian inventions and websites to go and Google. There's certainly lots to choose from.
Fantastic. Well, let's see. I know we've got something else I want to talk about too, the cash calendars, but just before we get to that, can you talk about, I guess, how long is this on for, and people have an opportunity still to come out and make their own food and money donations?
Absolutely. The structures will stay up in the mall until May 1st. That night, we're going to tear everything down. The teams come back, box it all up, and it'll come back to the inn. We've got a couple of companies' trucks that will move it back for us, and that will be a supply of food for us. So you can go and visit, check them out until May 1st. A couple things happening just before then. On the Monday morning, the 29th, we'll actually be calculating the People's Choice Award winners. So all the other categories were awarded yesterday. But for People's Choice, you could go around the mall, check out the structures. Each structure has a red post with a silver can, kind of a voting can, and drop in a little bit of money there, some spare change or a bill. The team that raises the most in funds in that collection can will be named as the People's Choice, and all those funds will come back to help the inn with our programs. So you can be a key part of helping decide who the People's Choice winner is.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And on the Saturday before that, on the 28th, we have a fun day for kids. We will hide our mascot, Tinny. We'll hide in 3 of the structures. And the kids with their parents, you can wander around. If you identify where Tinny is in any of the structures, just go into the kiosk we have at the center of the mall. You get a ballot, and the kids get a chance to win a toy basket.
Wow. So kind of like the Finding Waldo thing.
Yeah.
Except with a prize.
Yes.
Lambton Mall has been a great supporter of this event for quite a few years as well.
Tremendous. We just couldn't do it without the mall. It's a wonderful home for it, and it's great that they allow us to kind of take over for 3 weeks. But it's a perfect venue for people to wander through, do their shopping, see some cool stuff. So it's a great support for us, and they help with so much around the media and setting up the event. Couldn't do it without them.
Oh, fantastic. Just before we move on to the cash calendars, can we just talk, we talk a lot about food, and that's certainly a dominant factor in what the Good Shepherd needs, but there's other programs that the inn offers as well.
Certainly. We have a suite of programs because, dealing with a lot of issues around poverty and families that are struggling, there's so many other things that they need help with. So things for children. With our children's program, we do a children's summer camp. We do a a birthday club. We'll do winter coats and school backpacks and snack packs in the summer for kids. For other programs, we'll help with rent utility assistance if you're facing a shut-off or an eviction notice. And so often those sorts of things happen just because of an everyday life crisis. And when you're only working part-time and maybe 2 or 3 jobs, and you've got to take time off because a child is sick home from school, well, your paycheck is going to be less. And how are you going to get that medication if you don't have benefits? So that's a lot of the things that we try to help people with. And our income tax clinics, helping provide people with that income source, make sure they get their child tax benefit, or that senior gets their guaranteed income supplement, so that they've got enough to pay the rent.
Fantastic. Do you have enough volunteers, Myles?
Oh, we're always looking for volunteers. We're blessed with over 400 volunteers that find a place in their schedule and a place in their heart to be here. Some are once a week and some are once a month. But whether it's the food bank or doing a meal, or particularly we're looking for volunteers for our special events, when we have special things like CANStruction going on, or we have a bingo we run, or Rib Fest in June, and other kinds of fundraisers. We're always looking for hands to help with that.
That's fantastic. So, and they can just go to, I think I've got, can they just go to the website to find out information about that?
Absolutely. On the volunteer page on our website, there's a little link there, and you can fill out the volunteer application. It'll email direct into us, and then our volunteer coordinator will be in touch to kind of work out what you're interested in doing and kind of what your schedule is like.
All right, fantastic. Well, just before you go, Myles, I know you still got a day to finish up there, but this is the cash calendar, the spring cash calendar, right?
Yeah. This is something new for us. We've always had a really good response with our holiday cash calendar over the Christmas season, and we draw for the month of January. People love that. We sell out on it. It's a very popular thing. So we thought we'd give that a try for spring. We can celebrate spring. And all through the month of July, we'll be drawing. So every day of the month, there'll be a winner, and they make great gifts. We've got Mother's Day in there. You've got Father's Day in there. You're looking for something for that teacher, and they don't want another mug. Give them a cash calendar, or your bus driver. It's just a nice little way to say thank you and support and help in the community as well. And kind of the bonus with the spring cash calendar is that you get an extra chance to win. In addition to the 31 days of July, once the draws are done, you could take your ticket stub, take it into the mall. They'll have a barrel there, put it in the barrel at the customer service. And on August 18th, I believe is the date, we'll be drawing one ticket there for a $500 gift card for the mall. So there's just one last chance to win.
You can't. You really can't lose.
No, not at all.
That's awesome. Myles, thank you so much for joining me, and I appreciate you going through the process of getting on the new show here. And I'm sure we'll be hooking up with you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, Myles Vanni, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Myles Vanni, Executive Director for the Inn of the Good Shepherd, joining us there. And he's a busy guy, so I appreciate his 15 minutes of spending time here. And honestly, the CANStruction that I was at Sunday to be a judge, so we had to go around to 13 of these. You can see them. I've got them here on the screen. They really were just, I really struggled with how to judge these and pick one. You wanted them all to be winners, and they really were fantastic, and the creativity that goes in there was unbelievable. The roller skate one was definitely one that, it was one of the first ones we got to look at, and the wheels turn, and they got the rubber stub on the front. Like, the detail of these CANStructions is amazing. These pictures do not do it justice at all. So I would encourage you to get out to the Lambton Mall and make your vote, right? You get the People's Choice Award, and just check them out and have some fun. Do some shopping while you're there too. Why not, right? All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much once again, and thank you to my guests who were able to make it here. Mark Roehler, I'm going to give him a call. I hope he's okay. He couldn't make it, I guess, for whatever reason, but maybe we'll have him back on another show, right? That's the fun of live. And I want to also say thanks to my friends at BeLive.tv for the platform that they have us use here. And if you're thinking of going live yourself, anybody can do it. Go to BeLive.tv to get that information. I'll be back. Well, you never know. I'm going to be doing some stuff later in the week. My son Jason and I will be, live at Lambton College once again, as we have father versus son as we broadcast from the esports arena. That's on Thursdays at 12:30 Eastern time. That's all the time I got for you this week, everybody. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the live show. Bye-bye for now.